Hello everybody, my name is Sniper's Fun, and welcome you back to my next video to present to all of you here on YouTube. It is now time I'm going to be finally starting to bring back some of my top 10 lists, and what a way to actually bring back my top 10s, then to kind of correlate it with another topic I've been talking about a whole lot recently, RWBY from, the show from Rooster Teeth. I've been doing a lot of various different RWBY theories, predictions, and speculations and stuff like that, and I did mention to all of you on a former channel update video or so before that I eventually was going to be doing some top 10s of RWBY content as well, of which I'm going to be starting with this list right here. And this time, this top 10, my return to top 10s, because it's been a couple months. My last list was like last year, back in 2016, was my last time I did a top 10 list, and I think it was the Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite top 10 list, or the Smash 5 one, or something like that. I've forgotten now which one I left off on. And I do actually have a kind of a backlog of top 10 lists I do have to get rolling on and do, and you'll be seeing those in the coming weeks, days, months, whatever. But, like I said before, my return to doing some top 10 lists is going to be on the topic of RWBY, a topic I've been talking a lot recently in terms of predictions and speculations. But this video will be a whole lot different, and it's going to be me talking about, as of now, volumes 1 through 4. We just got done like a month ago, volume 4. The long year-ish wait for volume 5. RWBY Chibi comes out this summer. I'm going to be giving my thoughts as of now, my list as of now, volumes 1 through 4 of my top 10 favorite RWBY characters. And like I have been doing with the last couple lists, this is going to be part 1. This list is going to be from number 10 down to number 6. I'm going to be then doing part 2, which will be numbers 5 through 1 with all the honorable mentions, like always. Let's get this list started with number 10. Number 10 is going to be Weiss from, Team RWBY, one of the 4 main characters, and I like her a lot because, I like that kind of character where it's like, it's like the princessy type character where she's basically like, she's from like a rich type family. Her dad, Jacques, is Mr. Schnee Dust Company millionaire type dude. She wanted to take over the company, and when you see her in volume 1, she's like this very stuck-up princessy type girl. Everyone keeps calling her Ice Queen because she's really cold shoulder and stuff like that. But what I like about characters like that is usually if they're like main characters or major characters in the show, you usually get to see them usually adapt and grow and get character development. One thing we have seen from Weiss especially is, being around Yang and Ruby and Blake and Team Juniper and stuff like that, you see her grow as a person, grow as a character, and grow as a fighter, in fact, as a huntress, And like we've seen her become more, open, become more, kind of like, friendly, have friends, and have like more of a interesting personality where she's like more open to people and not as, cold-shouldered or as, schnee-y, because everyone else in her family kind of has like that still has that presence about her, even Winter to some extent. But it's like, I like her. She's not my favorite member of Team RWBY. You're going to see it later on because some of the other members do show up on this list. Spoilers. But I do like her. She's one of my favorite characters in the show because I just like that type of character arc, that character type in the personality. And she is a pretty cool character, and she's done quite an interesting amount of stuff in the show, from her fighting in like various fights, like on the train and at the tournament and stuff like that, and leaving Atlas in Volume 4, and her sticking up against her father and his ideals and whatnot, and wanting to go see Winter and wanting to move on with her life, and now that she's not the heiress and everything. She's a cool character, and she's not my favorite member of Team RWBY, but as of these 4 volumes, I have grown to like her more and more, because in Volume 1, quite frankly, she was kind of annoying, and Volume 2 and 3 and 4, she's kind of grown on me a bit. Not as much as, say, the other members of Team RWBY, but she's there as a favorite as well. I do kind of like her. Some of you might like her more than other members of Team RWBY. She's my least favorite of them still. That could very well change Volume 5, 6, 7, so on and so forth. But as of now, she's there. But she's still a cool character in the show, and I do really quite like her as well. That was number 10. Here's number 9. Neo, Neo. What can I say about her except that she's the very adorable, silent badass, and she's one of my favorite villains in the show. I just kind of like that, even though whenever she does eventually come back in the show, and quite frankly, people, she's not dead yet. I've seen people speculate that she died from falling off with her umbrella. If she died, we would have saw it. We didn't see it, so therefore she's still alive. Like, when she comes back, she might very well get a voice, you know, because they do have an actress to play her, and she does have sounds and everything, so she might be able to talk. But as of now, we know her as, like, the silent character that's just really freaking awesome, can change her appearance with her eyes and her eyes and hair and everything. And she just fights with the umbrella and all that stuff, and she's just, like, you know, Torchwick's little, what can I say, like, assistant, I would say, that'd be a good job description for her. She's just really, really cool, and a villain like that, that's just, like, really, she's kind of a, you know, she comes off as, like, this adorable, like, character, like, you know, she is kind of, you know, this adorable, beautiful type character that you wouldn't assume would be such a badass. And then she'll kick your ass, because she's so freaking awesome, and can apparently fight really well, and we've seen that when her Yang fight in Volume 2, her introduction during the mech fight in Volume 2, RWBY fight with Torchwick in Volume 3, it's just cool, and like characters like that I find really interesting, and I am strongly liking a character like that because I'm awaiting her return in the show very, very much, and she's just awesome, and that's the only reason I can say Neo is awesome, and that's all I can really say about her. Come on, it's freaking Neo. All you people out there are fanboying and fangirling over her. All you fans out there, stop lying to yourselves. You all want to see her, you know, see when she comes back. Number 9. This is number 8. Sun Wukong. Sun from Team Sun, the team leader, is pretty freaking awesome. Since his you know, arrival, since his like introduction in Volume 1, he's been a pretty cool character in my opinion. I know that they kind of used him as very comedic lately, and I know a lot of people didn't really like Volume 4's interpretation of Sun, of him being like, you know, following Blake and not being as useful, but like, you know, that he loves her and he's following her, he cares about her, and he wants to know where she was going, and just because he wasn't really useful then doesn't mean he's not useful at all anymore. He's going to be of use. He's going to be a major character going forward, especially in the storyline of Blake versus Adam and Ilya. So he's going forward. He's going to have a major role, and even though he wasn't as, you know, action oriented as he was like in Volumes 1, 2, and 3, and Volume 4, I still was a fan of his. Like, he comes off, you know, based off like the Journey to the East, Journey to the West. I mean, I'm mixing this up now with the show because they parodied it in Volume 4. And like the Monkey King, and he has the staff that turns into gunshots, which everyone wants to see come back, which is pretty freaking awesome. The fight on the docks with Torchwick, that was really freaking awesome. And just his personality, he's like, you know, the carefree character. He cares for his friends, and he's comedic, but yet could be a badass, and he's really kind of awesome. It's freaking Sun. And that's all I can really say about him. Like some of these characters are so simplistic. Like some of my lists I talk about, and they're like super in detail on stuff, and I talk forever. This list is, this is why I like the characters. Step 1, 2, 3, plot points 1, 2, 3, list 1, 2, 3, and it's as simple as that. Sun is an awesome character, and I'm looking forward to seeing where his story arc goes going forward, especially because he wants revenge on Ilya, and he's going to definitely be tied into the whole Blake versus Adam fight. I can guarantee you that. That's number 8. Here's number 7. Ozpen, because like usually those like, you know, authority type figure characters that are, you know, looming in the distance, watching over like how things work out. He's kind of silent, like, you know, he knows what's going on, or if he doesn't, he's going to find out. He's like that authority figure type character that's like high up, like, you know, like being the headmaster of Beacon and all that, like, you know, he watches over his students, and he seems to care about all his students. Like, that kind of character is kind of cool, and I like it, and that's one thing I do like about him. He seems to be like the kind of person that really kind of cares about like what people he works with. Like, he definitely, I've seen that in Volume 3 with Pyrrha. Like, he made sure if she wanted to go through the maiden thing, he seems to care about his students and protecting the world, working with, Glinda, working with Ironwood and Crow and all that stuff, fighting Salem's forces and everything. And now being inside Oscar's head, we're going to definitely see him going forward, like what, and everyone was wondering, like, this mysteriousness about him, like how he knew everything and how he, all that stuff, and people speculate he's connected to the wizard and everything. Quite frankly, I kind of thought that too. If you watch one of my theories, I basically mentioned, is he like connected to the wizard or so? But there's some sort of special powers he has, and it's just, like, we're going to see more of him going forward with Oscar and everything. But from volumes 1 through 3, specifically, just seeing specifically Ozpen, not the head, not the voice in Oscar's head, but just seeing Ozpen is like the headmaster figure, like a Dumbledore from freaking Harry Potter. That's just like, he cares about the people he works with, he cares about the students he's watching over, and he's secretly basically a freaking badass. And I would assume that has to be like a job requirement for him to being a huntsman and working as a headmaster of Beacon and everything. And it's just that slight mysteriousness about him is what makes him a cool character. And that's all I really gotta say. I mean, seriously, this list is very basic, man. Jeez. It's freaking Ozpen, and I am quite frankly looking forward to see where he goes with the whole Oscar arc and being in his head and everything, and how that correlates to what we learn about him in the future, because that's probably going to be something that might be touched upon in Volume 5, given that he's, at the ending of Volume 4, he talked with Crow and everything. They had a meeting between them. Yeah. Ozpen's my number 7. And that's all it is, because it's freaking Ozpen. And ending off part 1 of this list with number 6, who's that going to be? Tyrion. If you guys have seen my top 10 lists way back when, where I did my top 10 like video game villains and my top 10 favorite anime villains and whatnot, one of the character types, one of the villain types that I basically mentioned is I'm such a big fan of is the crazy lunatic villains, the characters that are just super crazy, super lunatic. They got like there's something wrong in their head. They're twisted or something. There's just something psychotic about them. I love villains that are super crazy, super psychotic, and super loco. And quite frankly, Tyrion is that. And he was one of my favorite characters that was introduced in Volume 4. One of my favorite characters. And I just like how lunatic crazy he could be. His introduction was awesome. His fight with Crow and Team Ranger was awesome. Him going lunatic on the Grim at the end of the volume was freaking awesome. He's a type of character that I'm just such a fan of, and I'm really looking forward to see how more crazy and lunatic he can be, given that he's lost his tail and really wants to kill RWBY now. And as psycho as he was, he's tenfold now, and seeing him go forward makes maybe in the future, maybe if I do an updated version of this list, he might go higher up. But his introduction in Volume 4, he's one of the newer characters in the show, and he's impressed me enough to be on my top 10 list. Because I like villains like that. I like the psycho crazy villains, because usually 9 times out of 10 they're very freaking entertaining. And they can go off the wall and do whatever the hell they want. And it's freaking Tyrion. He's my number 6. And that's it, everyone, for my part 1 of this top 10 list of my favorite RWBY characters so far as volumes 1 through 4 are concerned. I hope you guys like this list so far, part 1, this list covers 10 through 6. And I hope you guys come back and pay attention and take a look at and see what my top 5 are, alongside my other mentions in part 2. Hope you guys like this video. Peace. Please subscribe if you want to, and have a lovely day. See you all later in my next top 10 list, and see you all later, quite frankly, in part 2 of this list. Bye.